Hello YouTube addicts. I'm about 3/4 of the way through this Chunman Chinese job. So I've got undercoats and I'm doing the first coat of the yellow walls in here. And we'll go into the kitchen, which is almost complete. So I've just got to touch up the cutting in again. And yeah, it's all pretty much done. Just need to roll it again. So that'll cover up any of those little shiny patches and that are showing up. So yeah, most of the kitchen's done. Just a little bit of touching up and what's we call it? Roll it again. And that's going in, because it's a kitchen, and I'll show you what we're using. We're using water-based enamel. It has to be high gloss in the kitchen. Has to be able to be wiped down. So even your kitchen at home, if you've got an area of a wall that is behind a kitchen sink or something like that, like this sort of area, you could paint it with that gloss, that same gloss, and it's nice and easy to wipe down. Like, yeah, the amount of gloss on it. That's only first coat anyway. So you got to see the light in there, yeah. But that's only one coat, so once you put another coat on that, it'll be very, very glossy. So glossy. So out here, as you can see, I've done first coat on the yellow walls, and that's still the undercoat colour on the red. I haven't cracked the red out yet. Reason being, is because these corners, I have to cut a neat line down there, and it's going to be yellow to red, like it is at the moment, but yeah. You don't want to do the dark colour first, because the light colour will never cover the darker colour. So if you do the light colour first and just overlap it just a little bit, see I've just ran it over that edge just a tiny bit, so you fill that corner in. Got to make sure that corner is nice and full of paint. And I'll show you over this side as well, because it's quite important, this little bit. So same here, I've just overlapped it just a tiny bit into where the red's going to be, to make sure you've got a nice smooth edge to cut against. If that's not smooth, it's a very hard cut to do. If I had a cameraman, I'd show you how to cut that in, but anyway. There's probably 1,000,001 videos showing you how to use a brush, so I won't bother. But yeah, just make sure you do the light colour first, because the darker colour will definitely cover over the lighter colour in that corner. So most likely, if you're a good painter, you'll only have to cut it once, depending on what colour's underneath it. But yeah, that edge you should be able to get thick enough just to do it once and it's done. And then you probably just have to touch up your cutting in after you roll your first coat, have a look at it. Yeah, so that's what we're up to. Yeah, so that entire wall, including you could call them columns, are yellow. It's going to be red up over the top of that window. The bulkhead is in ceiling white. That bulkhead goes all the way around, and that's in ceiling white. Make sure you paint that first before your wall, but I'm sure you know that. And what I'm doing here, see I've taped that edge. When you tape it, you don't want it right into the corner. Bring your tape back a millimetre or 2 millimetres even, because this is laminate, this, not painted. Yeah, don't put your tape right into the corner, because you'll just you'll rip the paint off this wall when you pull the tape off. So what you do is you leave a little bit of a gap in there. You know, 1 to 2 millimetres at the most. Try and make it even all the way up, and get your tape in a curve around your corners. I don't know what they're going to do with that gap there, but anyway, it's not my concern. And then what you do is run gaps down there, your gap filler. Not too much, just a little bit to fill it in and to seal against the edge of that tape, because the gaps won't bleed in under that tape. So you squeeze it in there really tight with your finger. Make sure you wipe it all off the face of that tape, and then paint up to it, and you just slap it in there. Make sure it's nice and even, and then when you pull that tape, you'll have a nice edge in there. And I've done the same up in that corner too, just that little bit. So when oh yeah, that one's painted. So see, you just slap it in there. I slap the undercoat in there, and then the top coat goes over the top. I'll just square it off that little edge there. Just make it square. Yeah, so when I pull that tape off, it'll be a nice clean edge through there. So I've done the same here. I left it back, put the tape on it back about, you know, between 1 millimetre and 2 millimetres, nice and even. And then gap it with your gap filler, nice and neat, and then paint over it. That will ensure you get a nice clean edge when you pull that tape off. Apart from that, pretty standard job. Definitely make use of these little rollers, little midi roller. They're really good. I got it in gloss at the moment because I was doing kitchen. Make sure you keep it wet too, if it's going to be sitting there for a while. I've wet it up a few times, but you basically just dunk it and then sit it on the edge there like that, and it'll balance there like that and drip off the excess. So I was using that for all the little bits under here, because you can't get a normal roller in there. Yeah, so all those bits, all these bits under here, yeah, use the midi roller for that, because you can fit it in really tight places. You can even get it, you know, I smashed it into that corner, so you don't actually have to try and get a brush in there for most of it. It's just the top and bottom. Yeah, I just smashed the roller in there, and you know, little bits like that, use a midi roller. I even ran the midi up in that little gap in there, just to give it that nice textured finish. Anyway, I think that's enough for today. Yeah, if you've got any questions, comments, put them below. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Hit the thumbs down if you think it's terrible, absolutely horrible viewing for YouTube. Yeah, look, we're even getting some stock already. Stock is alright. We've got Coke, Fanta, and I've got some juices in there. Hopefully not meant to be cold. Went in cold storage. Must be UHT stuff. Got some Coke. Look at that. The fridge is arriving tomorrow. I think tomorrow. Something's arriving tomorrow anyway. Yeah, so things are going ahead. So I gotta get this painting done. Alright, enjoy yourselves. And don't work too hard.